Hope you're all fine. Hope you're doing well. And I'm really happy doing this because it's something that is very, very important. The pregnancy experience for a woman is something that we cannot overlook because it's actually through pregnancy that we have continuity in society, continuity in families. So, but many people don't really talk about pregnancy that much and the struggles women do go through in pregnancy. It's actually a lot to talk about. It's actually a lot to see. And it's actually a very challenging thing for so many women. And many women are actually afraid to even dare pregnancy because of many, many reasons, being the health complications as well. Also changing looks, the fear of putting on too much weight. There are just so many worries that women have when it concerns pregnancy. And that also affects a lot about other aspects of their life. So it's a topic that I'm really happy doing. I'm really very happy doing, and I think that many people will be inspired or will learn a lot from this. Many people will learn a lot from this. So I want to take us through some of the common pregnancy problems that we have. And the common pregnancy problems that we have, there are light, maybe those that are not so serious and those that are very serious. There is the minor discomforts include morning sickness. Those ones are normal, that the body is changing. So it's morning sickness, the nausea and all that comes naturally. So it's a common thing to experience. There is fatigue, of course, it's a common thing to experience because the body is trying to change, to understand itself, to like understand it's a whole change because the woman changes a lot. Her system, metabolism, everything changes. There's also back pain. Those ones also can be handled because back pain could be a very serious issue as well as it could be a very minor issue. There are heartburns, of course, because of food, that sometimes it's like the baby's rejecting some food. So we have heartburns, we have constipation, and then we have stretch marks. Those are minor, those are actually minor discomforts. Yeah, stretch marks because of the body stretching, but all of this can actually be handled and the body regaining itself. I'd mentioned in one of my posts, I don't know if it was a reel, that pregnancy is actually designed to help the woman. It's actually a process that is designed to assist the woman come back to herself. So it is something that has really been well organized and planned by God, because during the pregnancy period, let me talk about, let me just mention the serious complications. We have swollen ankles, we have gestational diabetes, that is very important. It also affects the aspect of the baby gaining too much weight during the pregnancy, which is also a potential risk, because when they say that the baby is putting on too much weight over the pregnancy, as the months go by, it already boils down to the possibility of getting a CS, which is also, maybe not many people, especially in Africa, still buy that idea of going through a cesarean session, So the gestational diabetes, pre-eclampsia infections. There are infections that we need to look at: ectopic pregnancy, miscarriages, headaches, pelvic pain, anemia. Anemia also very important because now the blood flow is not just the blood of the woman. The blood flow is also shared between the woman, the mother, and the baby. So these are very serious complications that we also need to look at. And also now the post is the mental health issues: depression, anxiety during pregnancy, especially when it's getting towards term. Like, when will this baby come? And the worst is if the expected delivery date is exceeds the normal delivery date. So the anxiety becomes very too much and also causes depression at times. So the reason why I said pregnancy is actually designed to help a woman regain herself is because of the many misconceptions surrounding pregnancy. I mentioned that the first is that we need to eat for two. And that is actually these are the three misconceptions I mentioned that actually the reasons why many people are afraid of pregnancy. Many women are afraid of pregnancy, but it's a very important and critical issue in the society, because getting into marriage, making sure that the generation, the lineage is, maintained, or the lineage continues, So it's something that is very important, and it's not really, I don't think people talk about pregnancy as important as it's supposed to be spoken about, So I think that we need to really look into the issue. The first big misconception was about eating for two. And most people, once they get that they are pregnant, they start eating for two. Even at the level of just 2 weeks old pregnancy or 1 month old pregnancy, they start eating for two. And that is already a very big red flag, because those who do that, in fact, I had done that from the first pregnancy, even the second pregnancy, and the third pregnancy is the time when I actually decided that I really need to see how discipline can assist me in this pregnancy, to maybe see if I can have something better. And it was actually because I had a CS for my second pregnancy, for my second delivery. So I was like, if I joke with this third pregnancy, I'll be having another CS, and that will be like the end of everything, the end of, maybe that means I'll be like at a state of a critical stage, fragile stage, which I don't like. I don't like to. And also the cutting of the body is very discomforting to me. And I was like, I need to see how far discipline in pregnancy can go to assist me give birth to a normal baby, to give birth naturally. So that is how I started my third pregnancy journey with discipline. All the misconceptions I just had to throw away, because I did not want to risk my life nor the life of the baby. I felt that risk, during my second delivery through the CS, had over 2 hours of labor, 3 hours going into labor, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and then I could not even push for that long. And then the baby, my breath was cutting, like I needed air. I was already feeling life being sucked out of me, and it was the worst labor and delivery experience I ever had compared to the first. The first, I was normal. I was like, okay, I'm breathing well. It's just to push. It's just the pains that I had to deal with. But with the third pregnancy, I had to deal with more than the pain. I had to deal with my breath being taken away. I had to deal with, like, I'm feeling I cannot push anymore. I had to deal with, like, I'm feeling like I'm dying. So all of those now were actually very critical to me. I understood now the dangers and all. It is a life and death situation. Pregnancy and delivery is a life and death. It's not as easy as many people see, that a woman is pregnant and then she later on goes and give birth, has the baby, and everybody is happy. It's something very different. It's a whole totally different experience for a woman. So I needed to change all of these experiences. Now, all the misconceptions for the first and second pregnancy, I was actually into the misconceptions. You're welcome, Oruka Besem. You're welcome, Orayol. Thank you very much for joining. I see you all. So thank you for joining. And actually, so that is it. The first pregnancy, I had my mom that came to assist me towards the delivery date, and she was just, I don't know how to say, jamboxing me with food, morning, afternoon, evening, and then fufu, the heavy food with so much starch, carbohydrates. So the baby was actually putting on weight so much. My husband is very tall, so it's like I'm just destined to give birth to very big children genetically. So no matter what I do, the baby is already going to be big before what I'm trying to avoid, what I'm trying to manage, the weight, that is now second. So yes, I already have that in mind. But then during my first pregnancy, I was just eating, I was also schooling, doing my master's. So I think maybe that reduced the rate at which I was eating constantly, though the baby was still 3 points. My first baby was 3 points. I know I was expecting maybe a 2 point something, but the baby was 3 points, and that was already still a big baby. So through the delivery process, I had to push for a very long time. And then it was just the process of pushing, and pushing is a whole new thing on its own. I did not know what it meant by push. When they said push, that means Marjorie push now, the baby is coming, like I'm feeling as to pull. The feeling is like you want to pull. But what I was doing that I was pushing was not pushing, because when I reflect on what I was doing during my first labor, I was pushing. With the second pregnancy, I was trying to do the same thing, and it even went to the CS. And then with the third pregnancy, it was a totally different thing, what I was doing. And then I reflected, and what I did during the first pregnancy was really not pushing. And the doctor would tell me that you are not pushing. He does not feel the muscles moving, like contracting to push the baby out. So I'll explain to you what I was doing. I thought it was pushing. You know, since it was my first pregnancy and I was thinking, and the baby is coming through the vaginal route, I was thinking that to push a baby would be like trying to urinate. I'm so sorry. So what I was having in my mind, what I conceived was like, if I have to push the baby, it's like I'm trying to urinate. You know, there's a different pressure when you're actually pulling, and there's a different pressure when you urinate. So it's like I'm trying to push the baby with my small muscles through my vagina to be able to come out. So that means I was not doing anything and no work at all on pushing. And severally for hours the doctor was telling me, Marjorie, push. Like from when I entered the labor room to when I finally said, doctor, please use the forceps, I was actually doing the wrong thing, that pushing. I was trying to force my vaginal muscles to push out the baby. I wasn't pushing that the baby is still lying also on my abdomen. I need to push and also force my anal muscles, you know, like a pulling. So I was not doing that. I was just pushing as if I want to urinate. And it was after the third pregnancy that I realized that, oh my God, and the doctor had to say he would take me through a CS. He tried all his best and I was also doing my best. I'm like, doctor, I'm pushing. I say, no, you're not pushing. I'll say, doctor, I'm pushing. And he did everything. He said he does not know what to do because he can tell me, but he cannot do the pushing for me. And it got to a point he was like, no, we're going to do a CS. He had already removed his gloves and everything. That would do a CS for the first pregnancy. And then I told him, luckily I'd been reading about delivery and then I'd read about forceps delivery. So I told him that, no, doctor, please use the forceps. I don't want a CS. I told him that I don't want a CS. And I said he should use the forceps. He did not even answer me. He just took the forceps, and the way he was doing the thing, I'm sure like he was just tired. He was like disappointed that I was not pushing. He told me that you are not pushing. He was so disappointed with that. And that the baby will have come out, 3-point-something baby. So that was the first delivery experience with me. That was forceps delivery. The next delivery was a CS delivery, and that was my baby boy Manuel. And that's for the baby came a bit later. So normally I have big babies. And then Manuel came in 11 months. He was really big. Manuel was big, and I was totally deformed. For the first pregnancy, you are like your normal singlehood size, you know, and everything is moving on well for you. So you're just your normal single size, trying to manage the baby. And I was also schooling, so I wasn't that big. I did not put on so much weight, though I added weight about 15 kilograms. Yes, but it wasn't showing that much from the weight I came from, and you know, the size of the baby as well. So for the second pregnancy, I did not go back to my weight before I had my first pregnancy. So the weight added again 15, was almost getting to 20, because when at 10 months or 9 months, the baby was supposed to be out already, but the baby extended to 6 more weeks, and then my mother was the one in the house pushing food. Oh my God, like the baby had already developed his vital organs and everything, so the extra weight was going to add up. The size of the baby, adding up the weight of the baby, the size. And I was like, mom, I don't know. I did not even understand the implications of those, because all the conception was like the indoctrinations of our parents, that you need to eat. Have you eaten morning, afternoon, evening, even snacking again? And then the appetite as well is there. You just feel like you want to eat, you know. So it was really, really very, I don't know. Then I was not seen as a challenge, because it was just a pregnancy experience. I had not gone to the labor room yet. But then when I gave birth to Manuel, he was 4.9 kilograms. It was delivered through the CS. I pushed all the way I could, and I was still doing the wrong pushing style, so there's no way he could even come out. And the frightening thing about it is that once the baby stays so long in the canal, there is the risk of infections, you know, from the vagina, and the baby too, you know, the face of the baby is coming out, so the baby may find difficulties breathing and stuff. So the life of the baby is also at risk, and your own life as well is at risk. So that's why there's always the proposition to go for a CS when it's taking so much time. So that's why I accepted for CS. In fact, the first pregnancy, I was like, doctor, I do not want to do a CS, and I thought there was the same mindset. I was not in for CS. But with the second pregnancy, the way the breath was going, I was seeing myself, life being pulled out of me. The baby may not survive. It's a big baby. The baby cannot come out. I was fully dilated. and then I'm seeing that air, I cannot even breathe. I can't breathe. I'm taking in air. It's as if it's not enough. Like